Hey everybody, this is Tambiota and you're watching the Daily Review. So today is going to be round 4 of our Q&A sessions. So this will round off the month because next week I'll be coming back and I'll have an adventure video. Hopefully it's not going to rain and we'll be able to do our plans because last week it rained and that's why we're at 4 instead of 3 Q&A videos now. So in Q&A, I got some questions here, and luckily I had some guys that, especially one of them, he's really active on my channel. He comments a lot, and I'm thankful for it because I get to interact with you guys and stuff, and he really put in a lot of good questions. Both these guys that put in questions last week sent in some really good questions, or sent in a lot of questions. So from G1 Smokescreen, he's really, he helps me out a lot. He comments a lot. I don't think he's done it as much now. I haven't seen it, but he used to go in there and share a lot of my stuff, and that would help out. But I'm not saying that you need to share any of my videos and stuff, but when you do, thanks a lot. So there's a few questions, and they're kind of, I don't know if I've answered these questions. Some of them I have in past videos, but question number 1 is G1 or Bayverse. And I think if you watch and look at my content, you probably could figure that out. I am more into the G1 continuity than any of the Bayverse stuff. Now I'm not a hater of Bayverse. It's just not the thing that I collect. So Bayverse has its place in Transformers, and I'll say that it helps a lot. It helps with us being able to get new toys. It helps with just keeping the brand alive, because I think it was kind of in a slump before that and it was struggling. and Bayverse came in and kind of resurrected it again a little bit, and it's kind of added revenue so that they can do other projects. So my answer to this is G1. Now Bayverse, I've watched all the movies. I've gone to the movies and watched them. I've gone to the movies and watched them at least once. Now, I don't own any of the Bayverse movies. I don't own them on DVD or anything like that. I was thinking about it, and I was like, I haven't bought any of the action figures either, but I can't really say that because recently I bought a Bayverse figure, and it was that Bumblebee that I bought that was a San Diego exclusive that I'll be reviewing at some point. But I didn't buy it because of that figure. I actually bought it for the cassettes, for the G1 cassettes that were originally Japanese exclusives that never came out in America, and that's what I bought it for, was for those. Now he asks Stan Bush or Linkin Park, and I feel like this is another G1 or Bayverse kind of question. Definitely with me being a fan of G1, it would be Stan Bush. You got the touch way more than Linkin Park. No, no. I would even say Weird Al Yankovic over Linkin Park. Linkin Park has its place, but that's not. They haven't really been one of my favorite bands. Let's just say that. So favorite bot or con? I don't know if you're asking me if I like Autobots better or Decepticons better. So if you're asking me if I like Autobots or Decepticons better, which one? I would say Decepticons, because my favorite Transformers, there's 2 of them that I like the most. It's number 1 is Shockwave, and number 2 is Soundwave. Those were both figures I had when I was little, and those are both figures that I remember playing with a lot. Now, let's see here. Another question is, do I play video games? I used to a lot. I don't as much anymore. I don't really hardly ever play video games anymore. There were games that I wish that I could have played. There were games that I bought that I never played that I wish that I could have played. But I have like the Nintendo Classics, the Super Nintendo Classic, and I play those games on there every once in a while. I really want to mod those so that I can add all the games, all the Nintendo games onto the Nintendo, all the Super Nintendo games onto the Super Nintendo. I actually went out and pre-ordered the PlayStation, the classic PlayStation Classic, just recently. So I'll have that. I'll be happy when that comes out because I'll have Final Fantasy VII. So again, so I'm really happy with that. Now, a follow up to that question was, did you play War for Cybertron and Fall for Cybertron, or Fall of Cybertron? Now, I played War for Cybertron. I played it all the way through, and I got all the little secret things and stuff on that. And I really wanted to play Fall for Cybertron, but I don't know, for some reason I didn't get around to it. It was like, that's one of those games that I bought that I never completed. Like kind of like with Arkham Asylum. I bought that game, went all the way through that. I bought Arkham City, and went all the way through that game. When they created the extra downloadable content level, I didn't complete that. I ended up buying the other games. I don't remember if there's one or two extra games. I ended up buying those, but I never played it. I never played them. So yeah, there were plenty of games. Like I played just recently, not recently, but whenever I had all that stuff, I was playing all of the God of War games. I played all of those. I want to play the new one, but I'm just like, I don't have time for it. I don't have one of the new systems either, so it doesn't. I guess it doesn't help. I'm more of a vintage gamer, if you want to say, than any of the new stuff. I don't have the time to put into it, especially with making all the videos and stuff and being with a family. And mainly now I just watch a lot on Netflix. I do a lot of that stuff. So, second person that had asked some questions was Nexus Tiger. So he's pretty active on my channel, and he first question was, what do you collect? So I'm gonna wait on that one. I'm gonna come back to that. And second question is, what got you into collecting? I'll kind of come back to that, and I'll put those together. So the third question is, what's your favorite Transformer? So I think I answered that already. And the fourth question is, what's your favorite season of Transformers? So I don't know, I'm not sure what you're asking. I don't know if you're asking about like what's my favorite season of G1, what's my favorite different incarnation, like Rid or Beast Wars or Armada, or any of those like that. So I don't like, if I would say pertaining to G1, like what my favorite season was like pretty much anything before the movies. So like the first, I forgot where the movie came out in, but at least the first season. Now, if you're talking about like what your favorite genre of Transformer, I like the G1, but I also like Beast Wars. And it's really weird because I used to fight Beast Wars. I remember when I first saw Beast Wars in stores, in like KB and stuff, I saw them and I was like, this is stupid. These are animals. They're not supposed to be animals. They're supposed to be cars. And that was kind of my mindset for a while. Now, it wasn't until I got into college that I met one of my friends, and he was big into Beast Wars. And I was like, well, what's up with Beast Wars? He was like, no, you need to check it out. It's really good. So I watched it, and I was like, oh, hey, this is pretty good. So I started watching them. We were watching them a lot of them, and I collected those. I bought those figures. I bought pretty much anything that came out on the show. I wasn't into like the first wave, like the first, like just the regular ones. I got into it at around, I guess you could say, Transmetal. So that's where I started collecting. So I bought any figure that was in the show. Now, like Transmetal 2s, I bought those. And I bought anything that I thought was cool. So now back to the first two questions. What do you collect? And what got you into collecting? So I'm gonna kind of roll that into like what got me into collecting as like what's the first thing that I ever collected, or like the first things that I collected, I guess I could say. So the first things that I ever really collected, like hardcore, like got into, this was like when I first started getting my own money and just started collecting everything of it, was Power of the Force 2. I got into Star Wars. I got into Star Wars bad. Like, I don't know, for some reason I got into Star Wars bug, and I bought anything and everything that I can get my hands on. I wanted to know about Star Wars. And that was figures. Like Power of the Force 2 came out, and I was buying everything that I could get my hands on. Now, some of the first ones were really hard to get your hands on to. Some of those first waves with like Darth Vader, with Luke Skywalker, with X-Wing Luke Skywalker, Obi-Wan, Stormtrooper, those figures. Those were hard to get your hands on. And I don't know, for some reason we were out, and I don't know why we went to Walgreens, and we went to Walgreens, and they were, lo and behold, they were there. And they had like the whole set of them, those first figures. And I told my stepmom at the time, I was like, hey, look at these. These are out here. And she was like, well, I'll get them for you for Christmas. Just don't say anything. And you have to act like you're surprised whenever you get them. So she bought them for me. I opened them up. I was happy. Anyways, I think she actually let me have them early. I don't know. So I think she let me have those early because she found some other ones and she gave them to me. Didn't open them. I left them in package. She thought I was kind of crazy maybe, but I was like, no, I don't want to open these. I want to collect them. So I collected them. And every single figure that I could find, I would buy. Now, I remember having problems finding my Stormtrooper. I ended up having to go to like a farmer's market. It's called Trader's Village in Houston. That's where I went, and I bought that there, and I bought my Leia there because those were really hard to find still. And I paid pretty good money at the time for those. Now this was back in the time of Wizard, and especially Toy Fair magazine. And I would go through that, and that's what I would look at. I would look at that for my value of the figures, and I would just see the volume of the figures going down and down and down each month. And I got depressed. Like I had a whole wall. Actually, it was more than a wall. I had a wall, and I had a mirror for my dresser. I had a mirror. I had all the red cards all the way around that. And then I had on another wall that my bed was next to, I had all my green cards on that, all the green sabers. And I had every single one of those that I could find. And I got kind of frustrated, and I just opened them all. I opened them. And I put them in little plastic baggies and little snack plastic baggies and put them in a bin. And when I got into college, I ended up taking them out. I displayed them all. People would come into my room and just be like, whoa. So I think it would have been more impressive if I would have had them on cards hanging up on the walls and stuff in college, but it was still, the thing that was so frustrating is I had a guy that would come in all the time, and he would see it. And he would look at the figures, and the way that I had them set up, they were just standing behind each other. And they were kind of in a cramped area, so I had to put them real close to each other. And he would always reach back for the ones in the very back. and he would go, oh, cool, and he would grab for it, and he would grab it, pull it out, hit another figure, and just domino effect. It's just like, oh my gosh. So, yeah, it's just a story that I remember with that collection. Another thing that I had collected back then was Fathom. It was the first series, that Michael Turner had created and done by himself. He's a comic book artist, writer, artist. He did Witchblade. He did some Spider-Man stuff. He did a lot. No, he didn't do Spider-Man. What am I thinking? I'm thinking of Todd McFarlane. He did. He started out on Witchblade. He did Darkness and all that stuff, and then he created his own comic, Fathom, and he ended up moving away from Top Cow, from Image, and creating his own company. And then he was doing stuff through that. He created a couple of other series. Mainly, I was just collecting stuff. Like with the Fathom, I collected every single issue that I could get. Alternate covers, everything. I would go out and I would buy. Now I would. He got into DC, and he started doing DC. He started doing covers for Batman. He started doing covers for Justice League. He started doing covers for all that stuff. And I would go out. I would try to find his covers, and I would collect those. Now that stuff I didn't hang on the wall, but all my Fathom stuff I had on the wall, and I had some pretty rare comics, like some stuff that was. They called them museum editions, and I had maybe like 3 or 4 of those, and they were. I think like 5 or 10 of those in existence. And I had some of those. Shortly after he passed away, after I got out of college and I moved and stuff, I ended up having to sell that collection. That's kind of one of those things. But that was one of the other things that I had collected. Now, after that, I got into, after I had moved out, I'd already done college, I got back into Transformers, and that's when I started collecting the Chug lines. So anything that was that, and I got into it late in the game, so I ended up having to buy some of the older figures at like a higher rate. So I bought those, I got into that. I was collecting those. I ended up moving, coming here to where I'm at now, and got into some third-party stuff. I was collecting that for a little while, and then kind of got into the situation that I'm in right now. I was like, I feel like I want to collect something else. So I sold all those, and I was like, I want to get into masterpieces. I love the masterpiece lines. So I sold all my Chugs, and I started buying masterpieces. I started buying those. Those were coming out really slow, so I started trying to get into other things. I was like, hey, I always loved Ninja Turtles as a kid, so I bought the first wave of Ninja Turtle stuff, original Ninja Turtles, and that was at the time that Ninja Turtles came back out again, Bayverse Ninja Turtles, I guess you could say, and prices like started going through the roof, and it was crazy. Well, and actually, Bayverse Ninja Turtles hadn't come out yet. It was Toy Collector that had come out, that had messed up the prices, that had screwed with prices. So I ended up getting out of that for some reason. I sold those figures, but then I decided, hey, I still like Ninja Turtles. And the Nickelodeon Ninja Turtles had started coming out, so I started collecting those. I bought like the first wave of those. I kept all those. I had those, and I was like, nah, I got rid of those. So I didn't do that. What else have I collected? So I had the G1, not the G1, the Masterpiece Collection. I know that I've talked about getting rid of that and stuff to pay off some debts, but those were the things that I had collected, that I had hardcore collected. Right now, I'm not really collecting anything. I'm buying stuff for the channel, but I'm not specifically collecting. I guess you could say that I'm doing the model builds as maybe a collection, and that's something that I plan on keeping. I don't plan on giving those up. I don't know. I feel like building that is going to be too much to sell. And I don't think I'm going to make, if I were to sell, I don't think I would make as much as I spent on it, especially with me building it with my two hands. So, all right, now I have a question for you guys. I recently did the giveaway. Did you enjoy that? Did you like that? Would you like more giveaways? So if you'd like more giveaways, this is how we do more giveaways. It's through Patreon. So I need your guys' help. If you want more giveaways, this is how we do it. You know, I'm not asking for a lot. I'm asking for, if you're constantly watching, if you are a fan of these daily videos, give $1. Give $1 a month. It adds up. If a lot of people give $1 a month, then you know we're gonna start doing some giveaways. So I'm already at $18 a month, and all we need is $2 more basically. It's gonna be a little bit more, maybe about $3, because they take about 10% off the top. Yeah, 10% off the top. So that's why I'm at 18 instead of 20, because one of my friends had graciously given $20. So we need about $3 more. If I can get 3 more people at $1, we can give away stuff once a week. Or not once a week, I'm sorry, once a month. We can give away some stuff once a month. Now it's going to be smaller things, but if it goes up higher, potentially we'll be giving away liter-sized figures. So really think about it. If it's in your heart and you enjoy this content, all I'm asking for is $1. If we can get 3 people to do $1, we can start doing giveaways again. And I really want to start doing giveaways. I got ideas for things, for crazy things. I know a lot of you guys had enjoyed the scavenger hunt type thing, and I want to do more of that. I want to do more stuff, more interaction. So please help me out. This is a way that you can do it. If you don't want to do that, but you know you want to represent Tambiota, you just go to not Patreon. You can go to Spreadshirt. It is shop.spreadshirt.com/Tambiota. Now it'll be down in the description, so you don't have any. There won't be any issues with the spelling. Basically, all you need to do is just click on it, and I think it's hyperlinked. You just need to click on it and go, or you'll need to copy and paste, put it in your browser, and we got shirts on there. You can do that. That'll help me out with some money and stuff. But please think about Patreon. If you can give, I would greatly appreciate that. So once again, I want to thank you for watching. Hopefully those will answer some more of your questions. If we ever do this Q&A again, you can go ahead and put some comments down below with some more questions. And like I said, if we ever run around this Q&A again and we come back in here and I need some questions, then I'll pull from here. Well, once again, thanks for watching. This is Tambiota. I'll see you tomorrow.